Okay, so we're officially starting our group chat today. On this group chat, we're going to go over kind of a big bag of a lot of important stuff. First of all, let me just mute everybody. And Aaron is going to do a section here on negotiating. He's going to finish up the section continuing from the last group chat. And I'm just going to start off with a couple things that I think are important. And I'm also going to go over some advanced business strategies for keeping up during a little bit of a slow period. Because right now it's the beginning of February for anybody watching a replay in the future. And from February to April can be a tougher time in this business. It does dip a little bit. But that doesn't mean you're not going to make any money. We make fistfuls of cash still, but it means it's going to slow down a little bit. So you can't just rest on your laurels. You have to just kind of adapt to the slow times, and you can still make just as much money as you were before. So I'm going to show you that in this group chat today, how you can adapt and what you can do to make sure you still are killing it during the tougher times. Okay, so anyways, before this group chat, I was talking to a friend of mine, Kevin, just signed up for the course. Kevin, are you still there? I muted everybody, but if you could unmute yourself and join. I don't know if you can hear me, Kevin. Maybe he's not there anymore. Okay, well, anyway, it's good to have him talk, but he disappeared, so I'm not sure what happened. Kevin, if you come back, let me know. Type in the chat or just unmute yourself, and what do you call it? We can talk. But in the meantime, to start this group chat, I like to always start off with the appraisal drills just to make sure everybody knows the basics and the 3 things. So pop quiz again, what's the 3 things that you guys need to hit 10,000 a month flipping phones if you want to be a phone flipping superstar? Hope everybody knows once you hit 10,000 a month, you get recognized on my YouTube channel as a phone flipping superstar. I got an interview tomorrow with the gentleman. Oh, Kevin's messaged me. How do I unmute? Just go to Kevin. What's your name on the chat, and I'll just unmute you for you. Or you can do it yourself. You just click on the mute. So let's see. Timothy says, mindset, negotiating, ads, and appraisals. Mindset is not one of those, Timothy, but mindset's important. Grant says 30-second appraisal and negotiating. Craig says appraise in 30 seconds, negotiate your price, and kill our ad copy. Good. I'm always seeing a few people get it. Guys, I've done this drill on the last 4 group chats. So let's make sure everybody knows these 3 things. Appraise, you got to be able to appraise an item in 30 seconds. Who can appraise an item in 30 seconds confidently right now? Say yes if you can, no if you can't. Like if I call you up and I say I have this to sell, in 30 seconds you can give me a spot on price. A lot of no's here, wow. Okay, well I'm going to train you on that in a second. All right. Number 2 is negotiate on your terms, not theirs. The key is anybody can buy a phone, right? As long as if I'm willing to pay them more than the phone's worth, I'll buy every phone that they call. But that doesn't make me any money. It makes me go broke. So that's stupid. Right? So instead, we want to buy phones on our terms, not theirs, which means, for example, there was I don't know if you guys saw the post I just did in the group, but we just sold a laptop. Here's my personal eBay account right here. It's 20,000 the last 30 days. And here's an item that we just sold yesterday. See this MacBook right here? Sold for $2,200. We paid $1,300. Now do the math on that one. Can anybody tell me what the profit is on that? If we sold it for $2,200 and we bought it for $1,300, what's the profit on that? Test you guys. Scott says a lot. No. What exact numbers, guys? Tiffany says 900. No, the profit's not 900. It may seem to be 900, but it's not 900. Steve says 750. Jack says 680. Craig says 600. Well, remember, eBay fees are what we just rounded to 10%. So 10% of 2,200 is 220. So subtract that from that, which leaves us with 1,980. So it would be $680 would be the correct profit margin on that. $680. That's what we paid after all our fees. And then shipping cost me like $15 for that. So about $665 I made profit. Who would like to make $665 on what item? Anybody? Everybody says yes. Okay, well, you can as long as you learn how to negotiate on your terms. Now this guy who sold me that regularly sells his stuff, and this guy likes me so much that he goes into my stores and he makes the employees call me every time he comes in. Kind of drives me nuts, but this is how powerful it can be if you know how to negotiate properly, and we'll talk about this a little bit more. Aaron's going to go into about this. This guy wanted $2,000 for that laptop when he came in. Okay, so we got him down to $1,300 from $2,000. Think about that. How many people are calling you right now that are trying to sell you a phone that's selling for 200 and they want 180 and you're losing that deal. Imagine getting that person from 180 down to 100. That's what's going to make you a lot of money in this business. But it takes some people skills and it takes some negotiating. So that's the strategy, is to negotiate on your terms, not theirs. So appraise in 30 seconds, negotiate on your terms, not theirs. And number 3 is write killer ad copy. Ad copy means writing an amazing headline for your Craigslist or your Facebook group ads, and writing a good body, that description of the ad that gets people like excited to call your ad every single week. And there's so many things to each one of these. It's 3 simple concepts, but each concept is hours of training behind it in order to become a master at it. So really quick, just to start the group chat off, let's do a quick appraisal drill for you guys. And I'm going to throw a kind of a curveball at you. We're going to do an iPad Air, first generation, 32 gigabyte AT&T. So iPad Air, first generation, 32 gigabyte AT&T. I want you to tell me what it's going to sell for on eBay and how much you would pay for it. And you're going to type it in the chat box there, okay? Ready? Go ahead, guys. You got 30 seconds. Not Wi-Fi only. Nope. No, Grant. It's AT&T. AT&T. It's a iPad Air, first generation, 32 gigabyte for AT&T. Let's see. Luke says buy for 70 to 90, sell for 130 to 160. Try to be a little closer, guys. Don't give me a range. Give me 2 like definite numbers. Grant says sell for 150, pay 50. Janita says 150, pay 70. And Amarit says sell for 165, buy for 70. Okay, your 30 seconds are up, guys. That's it. So let's see how many people nailed it in 30 seconds. Only 10. So you guys are a little weak on your iPad game there. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people always say, Dave, you got to help me overcome these objections. They always say this or they say that, and I can't get the deal. Well, here's the thing. It might not be your negotiating that's the problem. Your problem could be you're not very good at making offers and your appraisal skills need work. Because if you're one of the people that didn't respond in 30 seconds, your appraisal's probably off. And the closer you are, like if you can nail that appraisal like a freaking bullseye. Let's say, for example, this one, it sold for 150. Okay, that's what it actually sold for. And what we paid $40. Now that was a pretty good win on that one. All right. You're not going to get them all for $40. But even if I got it for $60, $70, that's a very fair price. $70 is more than fair for that iPad. I probably pay more like $60 because you got to pay a little more for the shipping on an iPad. But see, if you could be dead accurate and you know 100% where you're going to sell something at within $5, you really can get aggressive. Like for example, if the guy says no to the 40 and I work them and I work them and I work them, I can go up to as far as 70 and know confidently I'm still going to make a $60 profit. So you have to ask yourself, what's your confidence level when you're on that phone with these people? Do you know 100% what you're going to get for that item? Or are you like guessing yourself? Like, maybe I guess I could go more. You're not sure. You're overpaying sometimes. If that's the case, then you got to work on your appraisals a little more. Let's do another one here. Who's going to be honest and tell me that like they know that maybe their appraisals, their offers could be killing their game on the phone? Give me a yes if you're going to be honest and open about that. Or tell me no if you don't think so. Wow, a lot of yeses. Okay, good. At least you guys are being honest about it. So I appreciate that. It takes years of practice to get to become like a master at it, really close like I'm doing. Maybe not years, but it takes a lot of practice in phones to get that good. But the better you get at it, the more accurate you're going to be and the more money you're going to make. Okay, so let's do another one. I'm going to throw another one at you because we always do phones. I want to make sure you guys are buying other stuff other than just phones, because phones isn't going to get you – it's going to get you a good amount of business, but to get to 10, 20,000 a month, you need more than just phones. You need laptops. You need Mac. I mean, look at that. That MacBook right there just made $680. That's more than a lot of you guys make in a week at your full-time jobs. And no offense, I'm not putting anybody down, but I'm saying like, seriously, imagine making $680 on one item. But I wouldn't have done that if I wasn't buying MacBooks. So let's do iPod Nano, 7th generation, 16 gigabyte, and the name is engraved on it. I'm going to be tricky with you. iPad Nano, 7th generation, and it has a name engraved on it. Tell me what it's going to sell for on eBay and how much you would pay for it. Garrett says buy for 15, sell for 65. Luke says buy for 60, sell for 120. Don't forget, it's got a name engraved on it. Grant says sell for 60, buy for 15. Scott is, I wonder if anybody here knows my eBay account and they like look at my recently sold items and then just figure out what they sold for and make an offer. I bet some of you guys are cheating. Okay. All right, 30 seconds is up. Brian says sometimes I do. I knew it. I knew some of you guys were doing that. It's like you guys are like a spot on. Like literally, like I sold it at $69.95. Some of you guys are like sell for $69.95. I'm like, no way you guessed that accurate. Anyways, but all right. So we did actually sell it for $69.95. Here it is right here. iPod Nano 7th generation. Let's see what we paid for it. And we paid 20. So still a good profit margin. So for you guys that don't have a lot of money, remember, you can start off with these items right here and make a serious killing and ramp up your cash flow very quick. There's no reason, even if you drop me off in the middle of a new state with just 50 bucks in my pocket and a seasoned eBay account, I could live the entire month from that 50 bucks. I would go out and I would put up as many ads as I could. I would cherry pick every deal that I could until I bought 3 phones that day. I'd buy one for 5, 10, or 15. I'd buy 3 phones. I'd flip each of those for 60, 70 bucks. The next day I'd have $200. I would just spend all day long just posting ads. I take every call, even if I had to turn people down. And then I would buy 4 or 5 phones the next day at 20, 30 a piece and flip those for 60 or 70. And I'd have $400 or $500 bucks in my pocket within 3 days. I'm no joke. I should probably do a YouTube video like that one day. It'd be pretty awesome. But like you should have at least $1,000 in your pocket within 2 weeks of doing this. No excuse. If you're serious about making money. Now, if you just sit there and you watch all the videos for your first 2 weeks, you don't take any action, that's not going to happen. But I'm telling you, you could be a beast in a very short amount of time if you do the right things in this business. Okay. Has anybody, Brian says, good TV show. I want executive producer rights. That would be pretty cool. I was thinking about doing that. How many people here have done that where they started with 50 bucks to 100 bucks and they turned it into a good sum of cash in a short amount of time? I know I've got some big players here. Garrett says me, kind of. Timothy says me. Grant says I started with 150 bucks. Good. What did you turn that 150 bucks into, Grant? Chris said he started with $0. Wow. That's pretty good. Aaron said he started with 80 bucks. Aaron, how much do you have in your bank account right now, if you don't mind me asking? He started with $80 6 months ago.
Oh, about 41,000.
Wow. He started with 80 bucks, $41,000 in his bank account. Boom. That's fantastic. Timothy says he started with 65 bucks. Good. Excellent. Okay. So guys, for those people that are like making all the excuses in their head, well, I don't have enough money to get started. Guys, it's a mental thing. You don't need a ton of money to do this. You need to take action. All right. So I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about that because I felt that's kind of paralyzing a few people to get the rewards that they really deserve. Okay. So next, do you guys want me to have Aaron do a segment right now, and then I'll do some custom help after this? Whatever you guys are struggling with, I'll answer and we'll go over whatever you want. Craigslist ads, negotiating, role playing, objections, whatever. Or do you want to do me first and then Aaron after? Everybody says Aaron. Okay, so Aaron, you are on. We're going to have Aaron do a segment on negotiating. If you missed it, if you're brand new, Aaron does about $30,000 to $40,000 a month flipping phones, one of my top students ever. And he did a segment on our last group chat that was about 15, 20 minutes long, was talking about mindset and negotiating. And then we had to cut it short because we had to finish off this rest of the sections of the group chat. So he's going to finish up that section today. So if you're a little lost, you'll catch up. Aaron's amazing. Always gives good stuff. He's never boring. And here we go. Good luck, Aaron. Have fun.
Appreciate it. All right, guys. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Always a pleasure to be here with you guys. Dave, let's see, Lillian, Tim, Chris, Luke, and everybody else. Yep. I saw the peace sign from Luke. All right, let me see from current slide. All right, give me just 1 second here. Welcome, Aaron. All right, can you guys see the screen that says welcome on it? All right, got a thumbs up from Luke. Thank you. Let's see. Let me just give me 2 seconds to organize all this. More chat. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So what I want to go over with you guys today is a couple ways to build rapport with people. And this can help you close, because when the person, a lot of times they won't even consciously be aware of this. The reason this is so powerful is a lot of times it's subconscious. When they know you, when they feel that you're kind of like them, it just puts them in kind of a better state. And like we talked about in the last group chat, they see everything through that state. So if they're like, oh, this person's kind of cool, he's kind of like, or she is kind of like me, then everything else is just better and it flows smoother, if that kind of makes sense. So what we're going to go over in the about 15 minutes that we're going to spend together, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly with you guys, is the 4 personality types and how to interact with each of these people to build instant rapport. We're going to talk to them and communicate with them how they want to be communicated with. The second thing is 3 ways to build deep rapport with people through texting without them knowing what we're doing. A lot of us are communicating with people. All right, thank you, Dave. I was trying to figure that out on my end. 3 ways to build rapport with people through messaging. A lot of people, you can get a lot of leads through messaging. I get all my leads through messaging and texting. So we're going to go over that. And then questions and why you need to ask more of them. This will benefit you. And I'm going to give you guys specifics because I like to give you templates that you can go out there and use and increase your business right away. That's kind of my goal for you. Whenever we do a session together, I want you to be able to take something and implement it right away and see success, have smoother transactions, make more money, make more leads, get more leads, whatever we're doing. So let's get right into it. So when I used to work at AT&T, and I worked at the retail store, and there was this one time this lady came in, and I said the same thing I always say. I said, hey, welcome to AT&T. My name's Aaron. What brings you in? And she said the following just like this. Well, I'm thinking about upgrading my phone. And the next thing I said to her sounded exactly like this. Well, I can definitely help you with that. Any idea about what phone you were thinking about getting? So what I did there, guys, is I mirrored and matched the tone and the speed of my voice to match hers. This is called mirroring and matching. I think this came from NLP. I'm not sure. But we basically...
I actually nicknamed it, I call it chameleon skin is my nickname for that.
Oh, you know, I've heard you say that before. Chameleon skins, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, Dave's absolutely right. Chameleon skin. So if I'm talking about it and Dave's talking about it, it might be important that we put some attention on it. We want to copy what they're doing. Have you guys heard of this before? Just give me a 1 in the chat if you've heard of this or read this or cool. All right. So there's some familiarity with this. Fantastic. Lillian, Jake, Scott, Logan, Alex, Chris. Chris, how you doing, Chris? I see you on there. Matt, Amit. Oh, okay, awesome. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to get this deeper. We want to mirror and match certain things, their tone, their speed, and their overall vibe. So let's dive into how we do this. We got to understand the 4 personality types. Now, I should put out there that there might be offsets of some of these. These are the 4 that I learned about 5 years ago. These are the 4 that I go after. The first person is someone loud. They're in control. They're extroverted. They're a fast talker, maybe an alpha male or alpha female. Second person is someone that's shy, maybe a little timid, soft-spoken. Then there's people that are all business and right to the point. They get right to the point. You ever had someone like that? Hey, I got an iPhone X. How much? They get right to the point. The fourth person is someone they want to know all the details before they move forward. They want to know everything. What's going to happen? What are the details? How's this work? These are the 4 different types. And what we want to do is, A, we want to develop an awareness of these 4 people. And B, we want to cater our conversations, whether through the phone or through messaging to them. These are going to be mixed too. So you might have someone that's 1 and 3, or maybe they're 30% number 2 and they're number 4. So we can kind of match them. So let's keep moving forward. This will make sense. So if you guys give me a 2 if you've ever gotten a message like this. Yo, I got an iPhone 8 Plus. How much? Yeah, all right. We got a 2 from Logan, Bob, Lillian. How you doing, Lillian? Hugh, Jack, Ryan. All right, lots of 2s. So for someone like that, guys, how do we want to mirror that? How do we want to match that? We want to be right to the point with them. Now, this is a text I got yesterday. If you look at the bottom of the slide, he said, "Hello, I saw your ad on Craigslist. I was wanting to see if you would be interested in purchasing my phone. Anyway, please get back to me at your earliest convenience, thank you, dash Charles." I responded like this: "Hello, Charles. Thank you for texting me. I would love to give you a quote on the phone. Any idea what kind of phone you have? Aaron." So let's break this down. He introduced it. He said hello. So I said hello. He made an effort to say his name, so I used his name in conversation with him. He had some pleasantries in there. He almost wrote this kind of like you might write a professional email. "I saw your ad on Craigslist. I was wanting to see if you'd be interested. So I said, thank you for texting me. I would love to give you a quote." And then I moved forward, and I put the dash in my first name, just like he put a dash in his first name. You guys see how I mirrored the structure of his line of communication so he feels that I'm kind of just like him. Give me a 3 if you kind of see that. Okay. Fantastic. I'm glad that's making sense. Now, this is why this is important. The first example up there, the yo, if I talk to him the way I talk to Charles, the first guy would be pissed off. He'd probably delete me and go message someone else. So we need to be aware of this so we can communicate with people the way they want to be communicated with. Then you have someone, have you ever had someone like this? So I like to get right to the point, right? I want to do the deal. I want to move forward. Have you ever had someone and they're like, "So how does this work? When we get there, what happens? What will you be wearing? I'll be bringing my husband with me. Is that okay?" I used to get mad at people like this because I'm like, all right, let's just get to the point. Come on, I want to buy your phone. If you run across people like this, from here on out, just answer their questions. No, it's this kind of person, and they need to have all their questions answered before they move forward. The benefit of this, the good thing about this is when you get a person like this, a little trick, guys, is they are fully committed. They are fully committed, and they are like there's a 99.999% chance they're going to show up. And this happens in any situation. Dave might have had people in his program. They're thinking about buying his program for 6 months, but as soon as they buy it, they make a decision. They get all their questions answered. They're like fully committed. They're fully invested in it. Is that making sense so far? Give me, I guess, a 4 if this is making sense so far. Okay, lots of 4s. I actually spent a few hours making these presentations for you guys, thinking I kind of see what you guys post in the group, and I'm thinking, all right, what value can I give to hopefully help you guys out the fastest to where we can get you guys leveling up fast. So now let's break down how this leads into text messaging. You guys know I'm kind of all about text messaging. I do over $100,000 a year in profit, and it's pretty much all through text messaging. And of course, a lot of you guys have gotten a script. I got a copy and paste script that I use, and some of the others people have used to close phones through texting. So let me go ahead and break down 3 underlying communication tips when messaging leads. This is like really important, and you really need to be aware of this. Whoop, let me move this to look at the little cheat sheet here. So number 1, I want you to look at this conversation. The words don't matter, but I want you to look at the length of messages I'm sending someone versus the length of messages they send. So them, blah, blah. You, blah, 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 blah. Them, blah, blah, blah. You, lots of blahs. So do you see how they're kind of being short and right to the point and you're talking too much? If you ever have a message conversation like this, it comes across as kind of desperate on your end and like you're talking too much. You're coming across as like a fast-talking, overly talkative, annoying salesperson. We want to have a conversation that looks like this. They say a little bit, we say a little bit. They say a little bit, we say a little bit. Where the length of the messages that we send matches up pretty much with the length of theirs. This is on the same wavelength as they are, and now we're having a conversation. Give me a 5 if this makes sense. All right, appreciate that. Grant, Lillian, Amit. Man, you guys just all – okay, fantastic. Craig, oh, how you doing, Craig? I don't think I've said hi to you yet. All right, fantastic. Eric, Bob, fantastic. All right. Now tell me why this would be correct. Let me know in the chat why, even though we're talking a lot here, this would be correct. And this is a fine picture of conversation links. Oh, Grant's smart guy. They're talking a lot too. Brian, mirroring them. Same length. Michael, because you're Lillian, fantastic. We are mirroring them. You guys are smart. You got a smart group of people here, Dave. Absolutely. We are mirroring them. So sometimes, guys, you're going to have someone that messages you, and they're going to tell you their backstory and why they upgraded their phones. And because they're talking a lot, we can talk a lot too. This is a good outline. Let me show you guys. You guys want to see something kind of advanced? This is the second part right here. All right, got a lot of yeses. This is really advanced, but sometimes these subtle things matter. It's these subtle things that you get really good at that allows you to combine everything and level up real fast. So I never use LOLs, exclamation marks, or smiley faces. But if the customer uses them, you want to use them. So look at this conversation right here. Them, blah, 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 LOL, blah, 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 LOL. You, blah, 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 LOL, blah, 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 blah. Them, they put an LOL, you, LOL. They put a smiley face, blah, 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 smiley face, you, blah, 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 smiley face. If they're using LOLs or smiley faces or exclamation marks, that means that they're being a little playful, or they're having fun, or they're speaking with energy. So if they do that and we don't do that, we come across as a grouchy old fart that they can't relate with. They're trying to have fun with you guys. They're being playful, and your personality comes through in messaging. I had this lady message me, and I'm going through the script, right? And then she put like an LOL. And then I said something, and she put a smiley face. And then I said something and made it kind of like playful, almost flirty, and put a winky face. And she put a bunch of LOLs afterwards. And when we met up, she said, I could tell you had a good personality from the way that you were messaging me. So these little things matter. If they're not doing this, by the way, some people are all business. You don't do this. As soon as they start putting whatever LOL emoji or exclamation mark, I'll put it in there too. So I might be going all business. And I might be like, all right, I'm heading there now. I'll see you. Or I'll be like, okay, I'm leaving now. And they'll be like, all right, great. I'll see you soon, exclamation mark. And I'll be like, all right, I'll see you then, exclamation mark. So whenever they put it, I try to incorporate it in the next message I send them. Give me a 9 if that makes sense. And we're kind of all on the same page. 9 from a bunch of people. Pamela, Mike, Chris, Yev. All right. Someone's like 90, 95. Luke. Luke says it's very true. Well, you guys know Luke does amazing on this too. Luke he makes a lot of money flipping phones, so Luke has a good understanding of this as well. Fantastic. All right. All right. Oh, so this is the third thing. This is important. The time that it takes you to message them back versus the time they message you back. So let's look at this. So if they message you at 1 o'clock and you message them back right away, and let's say it takes them, they message you back at 1:01. You message them back at 1:14, or they message you back at 1:14. You message them back a minute later at 1:15. 21 minutes later, they message you back again. Then the next minute, you message them. Then about 25 minutes later, they message you, and then you message them back right away. Someone let me know in the chat why that might not be the best strategy. Needy. Oh, you guys are smart. Yeah, absolutely. Needy. You're too pushy. You look absolutely. You guys, you guys are on it. You guys are desperate. Annoying. Absolutely right. And it's not mirroring. Someone said we're not mirroring them. It comes across like you're almost a little needy, a little desperate. Now, I don't want there to be any confusion here. The best conversation is one that you guys are both responding quickly, because there's a sales process you must go through. You got to ask them questions. You got to figure out what they have. You got to make them an offer. There's a sales process you have to move them through, and momentum is built the faster you can move through that. So if they're messaging you back right away, I mean, you want to message them back as fast as you can. I pull over all the time when I got a good lead on messaging and to respond to it or to make an offer, all right? However, Eric says, you're crying for a phone. Absolutely right. However, if they're having time lapse in between the time they're responding to you, you want to have the same time lapse. And here's the rule. This is a very fine thing, because you don't want to have if they wait 20 minutes, you don't want to wait 20 minutes, because you want to you want to show that you're on it and you're a professional and you're following up with them. So you don't want to wait 20 minutes, but you don't want to message them back in a minute. The good rule of thumb, guys, is a third or a fourth of the time. So if they wait 20 minutes to message you, wait 4 to 5 minutes and then message them back. If they wait an hour, wait maybe 10, 15 minutes. So let's look right here. They message you at 1. You message them at 1:01 because you're on it. This is your business, and this is all about a means to an end. Ultimately, this is about you figuring out what they have, making them an offer, closing the deal. They message you back 13 minutes later. Here, in this example, we wait 2 minutes. 20 minutes goes by, and they message you back. You wait 4 minutes, and then you message them. Then 23 minutes goes by. You wait 5 minutes. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes, guys, they'll start messaging you back quicker. Maybe they got off work. Maybe they did whatever it is. If they start messaging you back quicker, you want to start messaging them back fast as well. So if they start to message you every 1 to 2 minutes, do the same thing. Does this make sense? Give me a 7 if this makes sense in the chat, if you guys wouldn't mind. That's awesome. And Luke made a great point in the chat. He said, it's a relationship you're building. You're absolutely right. I mean, Luke, he knows what he's doing. He was David's first student. He's been doing this for a while. Bob, Luke, 7-7, fantastic. Chris, see you over there, Chris. All right. Tim, fantastic. Michael, all right. All right, so let's recap, and then we're going to go to the final thing. Be aware of the length of your messages versus the length of theirs. So from here on out, I want you guys to be aware of this and adjust accordingly. Be aware of the LOLs, emojis, and the exclamation marks and mirror and match them. Be aware of the length and time you respond versus the length and time they respond. Let's move on to the final thing. Questions. Guys, we need to be asking questions. So if you guys ever get one of my programs or one of the packages that I have, it always comes with direct access to me for a certain time period, where you can ask me questions or I'll praise items or whatever, wherever. 1 to 2 times a week, I always have a student that messages me something like this. Hey, Aaron, the customer says their phone is cracked. Do I appraise it as cracked LCD or cracked screen? And I always ask a question. I don't know. Let's ask the customer what they mean by cracked. So you would want to say, what do you mean by cracked? Aaron, they said their phone is locked. Does that mean it's iCloud locked or locked to the carrier? Guys, I don't know. But if we ask the customer what they mean by locked, we can get more information, and then we can know the correct steps to take. This is all business, so it's all about, asking questions and controlling the interaction, and you have to be the person to lead the conversation. It's not up to the customer. It's up to you. Aaron, they said their phone isn't activated. Does this mean it doesn't power on or what? I said, I don't know. We got to ask the customer. A sales conversation has a different vibe, a different flow, a different structure than a normal conversation. So if I'm hanging out with mom and dad, I might be telling, my dad is an expert salesperson. He's actually the highest commission. Last year, he made more money than all the other salespeople in his company. There's like hundreds of salespeople. He made more commission. So I might hang out with him, and that's where I get some of the strategies that I learned. So I might hang out with him, and he tells me a story about how he closed this big deal. And then I tell him a story about how I got a good deal with some phones. And we kind of go back and forth. We vibe. We build rapport. A sales conversation isn't like that. A sales conversation is mainly you asking questions and then making an offer or making a couple statements. It's all about a means to an end. We got to figure out what they got to have. We got to make them an offer. We got to keep everything moving forward. You ask questions, you lead the conversation, and every now and then you make some statements. If you guys go back and you look at the on the last chat where me and Dave went back and forth for about 5 minutes, a lot of it was me asking questions. I was actually using some of the tie-down questions that we taught in the last section. I was asking questions, and Dave was talking, and then I might make a statement, but then I'm asking questions. So here are some questions asked. These are the word verbiages that you guys can use. What do you mean by? If they ever say something, and let's say you're trying to find out the details of an item to appraise, and you don't know what they mean by it, you want to say, what do you mean by fill in the blank? So let's say they say it's not activated. What do you mean by it's not activated? Right? If they say it's cracked, if they say the screen's cracked, there could be other issues, right? It could be also cracked. It could be cracked LCD. It could not power on. It could be a bad digitizer. So if they say it's cracked, I say, can you still move through the phone even though it's cracked? I'm asking a question. Yes. Is there any ink or lines in the screen? No. Does the phone have any other problems? No. So now I know that it's cracked, good LCD, and good digitizer with no other problems, so I can appraise it and move the conversation forward. Give me a 1 in the chat if that kind of makes sense and you see the power of asking questions. All right. 1 from Robert, Ryan. All right, fantastic. Lots of ones. Pamela. Another thing to do is why. So if you, let's say you get an objection, and so in the last chat, Dave said he wanted to think about it. I don't know if you guys remember that. I talked Dave down. He wanted $25 more because Dave was being a pain in the butt customer. Thank you, Dave. And Dave says, well, I want to think about it. If you go back and you listen to that conversation, I said, why do you want to think about it? Because he wanted to get more money. Well, now I have an actual objection I can work with. Why, he wants to get more money. How much are you looking to get for it? I'm asking questions. I'm leading by asking questions. Dave was looking to get $225. I said, all right, well, if you don't sell it to me, what are the steps are you going to take to try to get $225? Asking questions. And then he gave me a big thing, and then I was able to kind of get around that. And, you guys can go back and watch that and kind of understand it and digest that. We want to ask questions, though. If you don't know what the customer has, or you got a question about it, ask them what they mean. And if they have an objection, ask them why. Why do you want to think about it? If they can't meet you at a certain spot, why can't you meet me? Oh, they can't meet you because they don't have a car. Well, then guess what you can say? I can come to you if you'd like. Yeah, that works. And then you get the address and you go to them, moving the conversation forward. Give me a 6 if that makes sense. I like to keep it to where we're all interacting, and I want to make sure if there is confusion, I can try to understand it. I want you guys to take this and go out there and win, kick butt. That way you guys can wake up at noon like me every day. Well, maybe you guys don't want to wake up at noon. So, okay, let's recap. Moving forward, guys, every single lead you talk to, I want you to have an awareness and try to figure out which of the 4 personality types they are and adjust what you're doing to match their type. If they want to move forward quickly, don't ask them a bunch of questions. Get the least amount of information you can, make them an offer. Be aware of the 3 underlying communication tips. Let me hide this. What are the 3 underlying communication tips through messaging we need to be aware of? There's 3 things. Length, all right. Time, oh, someone was paying attention. Text length, emojis, LOL, and time. Tone, emojis, LOLs. All right, you guys got it. Length, emojis. All right, you guys have been taking notes. Fantastic. And the final thing I want you to do is ask more questions. When in doubt, ask more questions. If they want to think about it, ask more questions. If they're not clear about the issue in their phone, ask more questions about it. That's what I got for you guys. Let me know if this was helpful and you guys got value from this in the chat.
Fantastic. Excellent. Good job, Aaron. As always, always. I don't think you've come on and done a bad job ever.
Well, I appreciate that, Dave.
Excellent. That was
back to you, boss.
Thank you, Aaron. And let's give Aaron a big hand for doing a great job there. That was fantastic. You can see why the man's doing $30,000, $40,000 a month on eBay and making $100,000 a year profit, which is fantastic. Now, If one thing is, guys, you know, I always say, if you want to be really good at something, hang out with the people who are really good at what you want to do. You know, when I first got into sales, I remember back in 2000, I walked into this car dealership and they said you can make $60,000 a year at a car selling cars. Now, as a 19-year-old kid, I had floppy blonde hair, like coming down to here. It was uncombed, looked like shit. I had this leather jacket. I had the tie that wasn't even buttoned up right. It was crooked. I looked like a total goofball, right? So they said, all right. I told them, look, if you hire me, I'll be your top salesperson. They kind of laughed at me when they looked at me. But once I started working there, I made sure I hung out with the top guys. And there was the guy smoking cigarettes going, no customers coming in today. We didn't get any deals. I wasn't hanging out with those bums. I didn't want to be associated with those guys. We called them the Rat Pack. Usually they got fired within a couple months. I didn't want to be hanging out with those guys because they were lazy. They were negative. I wanted to be around the guys who was driving in the sharp suit, pulls in his brand new Acura. I was selling Hondas at the time, right? Pulls in a brand new Acura, and he walks in like the man, and I look up at his sales records, and I see he's the top guy. I went over to him the first day and said, what are you doing? I want to do it. And that was it. So if you guys want to be successful and you want to be good, find the top people in this group and go after them. That's the best advice I can give you, because humans learn from osmosis. You put people in a room together and all of a sudden they start figuring it out pretty fast. But if you start hanging around the Rat Pack, yeah, you bought any phones today? Nah, guy wanted too much. Not getting any calls on my Craigslist ads, man. Yeah, I don't know, thinking about quitting and maybe I'll try to do some drop shipping or something. I heard Amazon was a good gig, okay? I don't want to be hanging around that guy. Anybody heard that guy before? Anybody been that guy? I'm not picking on anyone here, by the way. Okay? But if you want to be around a champion, if you want to be a champion, you got to be hanging around the champions. Okay. So I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit of mindset stuff, because during the slow period, the Rat Pack gets a little bit bigger sometimes. Sometimes we get a larger Rat Pack when the customers start to slow down. Now, the guys who are the sharp guys at the car dealership, there was slow periods then. Every business, there's not a business in the world. I own 4 of them, and I'm doing $1 million a year in sales. There's not a business that I own or have ever worked in that hasn't had a slow period ever. But it's not the slow period that determines you. It's what you do with the slow period is going to determine who you are as a business person. Do you want to be the winner who figures things out when things get a little bit tough, or do you want to be the whiner? The one that complains when things get tough and does nothing about it, right? So I was watching the Super Bowl this weekend. Anybody watch the Super Bowl? Someone says, yeah. Look, I'm a Pats fan, so I was pissed. I'm sorry, guys. I'm from New England. So anyways, if you didn't watch the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter. You don't have to like sports. I'm not a big sports guy, but I like to watch the Super Bowl. I like the Patriots. They won 5 Super Bowls. Last Super Bowl championship was amazing. But anyways, the reason why I'm saying this, guys, is the Eagles won the Super Bowl there. And they beat the Patriots. And let's say, I don't care whether you like the Patriots or not, they're an amazing team. They got 5 Super Bowls in the last decade, okay? So they're a pretty damn good team. And these Eagles, they never had a Super Bowl win or anything before, and they came up. Do you think that game was won on the field, or do you think they won that in the practice sessions? When do you think that game was won, guys? You tell me. You think they really won that and during this game they got lucky? I don't think so. I've been in business too long to know. They won that on the times that they spent an extra hour working a little harder, maybe doing tackles, whatever they got to do, throwing the ball. They spent a little more time working out. They spent a little better focus on their nutrition than everybody else. And that's when it all comes together. So your game time is when that phone rings. But when the phone's not ringing, what are you doing with your time? Are you watching Game of Thrones, Netflix, Walking Dead, or are you practicing your appraisal drills? Are you watching the course videos over again? Are you connecting with people in this group and making friends? Or are you going to hang out with your buddies and get drunk all weekend and say, oh, Dave, I'm not having any luck flipping phones? No, you're not. Luck has nothing to do with it. You're not putting any work in. Okay, now I'm being a little harsh here, but you got to ask yourself, who's a little guilty of not putting the time they should in to their business when it gets a little slow? Anybody? It's okay. We all are. We all get a little lazy sometimes. But see, here's the thing. Let's say this month, let's say I do 20,000 a month, and this month is a little slow for me, right? I don't get as many customers. I only do 17,000, and I do everything I can to make sure that I I did what I could, but you know, you can't force people to call. You put up 50, 60 Craigslist ads. You got 5, 10 Facebook group posts a day. You're doing everything, and some days the calls just don't come in. Has anybody had that? Aaron, have you ever had that where some days just you don't get a call or messages, and then other days it's just pouring?
I have, absolutely.
We all do, right? But on the days that you don't get calls, what are you doing with your time? Are you sharpening your knife so that when the time comes, those calls come in, you're going to be able to close half of them? Or are you going to still be able to close that same lousy 1 out of 10 that you've been closing? Because that's terrible. Now, Kevin, are you there? Kevin said he was going to come on because I closed a deal the other day. And I'm not trying to beat on you guys a little bit, but I want to prepare you. I want to toughen you up a little bit for the next 3 months because it's going to get a little tough. So I'm going to show you some things that you can do in order to improve. Not just learn, but oh no, Kevin, you still there? He said he was going to come on, but now he let me down a second time. Kill me here, Kevin. All right. Anyways, I'll get back into what I was talking about. So 3 things that you guys need to focus on, okay? And let's see if I can figure out how to do this. This is the second time I've ever tried doing a whiteboard on this. Let me see if it works. I got a touch screen. Okay, good. It works. There we go. All right. Let's see. All right. So number 1, leads. Okay. Now, you guys may have heard me talk about this before, but I'm going to repeat again because there's a lot of new people here. Number 2, conversions. Number 3, cash value per customer. See these things right here? I want you to memorize these. These are the lifeblood of all business: leads, conversion, and cash value per customer. Now, some other businesses, there's 3 more things, but for phone flipping, this is really all you got to focus on: leads, conversion, cash value per customer, and maybe continuity. But I don't want to confuse you too much, but we can get into continuity because I never told you that before. Okay. So what is this? What the hell is leads, conversion, cash value per customer? Leads is the amount of calls that you get. That's how many people call you and attempt to sell you a device. All right. Or message you. Conversion is what's your closing average. So are you closing for every 10 messages you get? Are you closing 2, 10, 15, 20? Do you know how many? Are you even tracking that? If you're less than 10,000 a month, you're probably not. That's bad. Because just like Zig Ziglar says, one of my mentors, he says, you can't get to where you're going if you don't know where you are, right? You need to know what gets measured gets managed. So you need to know where you're at. So you need to be tracking how many calls do you take and how many of those do you close. That's called your conversions. Leads the amount of calls. Conversion is how many you close. Number 3, cash value per customer. Cash value per customer means how much you're making per deal. So for example, the cash value of that MacBook there is $680 profit. That's a lot of money. How many deals do I need at $680 profit to make myself $100 grand a year? 2,000 a week is $100 grand a year. So 3 deals like that MacBook, and I'm making $100 grand a year for 3 deals. That would mean I work 2 hours a week for $100 grand. That sounds like a good deal to me, right? I don't know about you guys, okay? But the more cash value that you can get, the more money you'll make without working too hard. So what you want to do is figure out how you can get the price lower and buy higher price items. Now, there's some people in this group, for some reason, are scared to buy $500, $600, $700, $800 items, and they have the cash. That's kind of a mistake because I had to lay out $1,300 cash for that MacBook. And yes, it is a little risky, but I'm confident. And because I study my business in the off time, I know I could get that $2,200 for it. So I made $680. So are you cutting off some of your cash value from this? Like, are you turning down cheaper items too? Maybe, let's say when someone sells you, an iPhone 8 and you're making $200, $300, this guy's probably got some other stuff that's worth money. Are you asking them for iPods, MacBooks, laptops, their friends, anything else? Because if you can take, let's say if you're getting 100 leads per week and you close 4 out of 10 deals, which is average, and you make $75 per customer, again, average, okay? That would mean out of 100 leads, you're going to close 40 of them. And what's 40 times 75? That would be 2,800 or something like that. Let me see. 40 times 75 would be $3,000, okay? So you'd make $3,000 with these numbers right here. If you get 100 leads per week and you closed 4 out of 10 of them at a cash value of $75 per customer, you make an average of $3,000 profit per week. That's not sales, that's profit, okay? Now, let's look at your numbers. What the reality is, your numbers like leads 30, conversion 1 out of 10, cash value 35. Is that your real numbers? Because let's see if that's what your numbers are right now. And it takes a little bit of pride swallowing, guys, to do this. But if you can't look at yourself without being delusional. Delusional means you think you're doing better than you are. And unfortunately, a lot of people are delusional in business. They think they're doing better than they're not. You got to be realistic. So let's say if you're getting 30 leads and you're only closing 1 out of 10, that would be 10%. That's 3 sales per week you're getting at $35 profit. That means you're making $105 profit per week. So these increase exponentially if you can increase anything. So even if, let's say, you suck at closing, you're horrible, you're the worst closer in the world, but you bring in more leads. Well, at least now you're going to have 10 deals coming in at $35 profit. Now you make $350 a week. You just increased your weekly pay by $250 by just bringing in extra leads. So now, let's say you just convert 2 out of 10 now. I mean, you like mildly suck. You don't like suck really bad. You like mildly suck. Okay, so now let's do 10. Now you're closing, out of 100, closing, what is that, 20 deals per week times 35. Oh, now you're making $700 per week profit. And that's just by increasing your leads to 100 leads a week and doubling your closing rate. Okay? Now, if you can average, now you got to be real honest. You can't say, oh yeah, my average is 50, 75, and then the last 3 deals you only made $30. That's not right. You got to be realistic. Let's say you can increase this just to $50. Now, watch what happens. So now we're closing 20 deals a week, same lead, same conversion, but we're making $50 a piece. Now you're making $1,000 a week profit. 1,000. Who would like to make $1,000 a week profit? Say yes. Okay. How many of you guys have spent a half hour and just broken down your business like this? I bet not even 10% of you guys have done this. So I know, because if you were, there would be more Aarons, more Lukes, more Erics. There would be more people doing $20,000 a month in this group if you were. Okay. So if you're not, it's time to start getting real with your business, because down in the slow times now, the leads are going to slow down, which means now instead of 100 leads per week, you're going to get 70. But what can we do in order to keep making the same amount of money? We could be a badass closer. I can watch this group chat. Let's say if I was a new guy and Aaron just killed it there with that negotiation, it was awesome. I'd watch this group chat 3 times, and I'd actually be like texting people as I'm watching the group chat going, all right, Aaron said, be like this. Okay, so let me put that into implementation right now. And I get out of text and I go close someone right now. And then I learn the next technique, and then I do that. And then you watch me close the deal, and you're like, oh, Dave said this. I'd go try it immediately. Like, call back someone who even said no to you yesterday and try closing them again. Because do you know how many times that's happened? When I did a boot camp back in November, I had 3 guys that came to my store. And then I had another boot camp that was 10 people. I had them all do their previous text messages, and all the people that said no, we called them up. I closed 3 deals out of 5 for people that turned them down flat 2 days ago. I closed them on the phone, 3 deals out of 5. Okay, so when you get better, you can close the people that you blew the deal with, believe it or not, later on. So are you going to do this, or are you going to go binge watch Netflix for a while? You know, now some of you guys are like, yeah, well, Dave, it's easy for you to say, but I'm not been watching Netflix. I'm working a $60 a week job. I don't have time for this. Well, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. That's what I have to say to that. Because when I started off this business, I did carpet cleaning. Same thing, 60 hours a week. And I didn't go home and watch TV. I went home and I read books. I read 300 books in 3 years. I worked on myself every day. And then I would go, when I started flipping phones, as soon as I got out of carpet cleaning, I went out and I met people buying phones. I did what I had to do in a short amount of time, because that's what got me where I am today. Now, that's not a life sentence. You don't have to do this forever. The best thing is, once it's good, it's like riding a bicycle. You don't forget. But at first, there's going to be some initial resistance that you will need to put up with and get uncomfortable. Okay? Now, a lot of people, the problem with a lot of people in business is that a lot of people don't feel like being uncomfortable. A lot of people don't like that feeling of, oh, I'm nervous, Dave. I don't like this. Well, the people who succeed feel the same way. Aaron feels uncomfortable. Luke feels uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable all the time. I used to have social anxiety, couldn't even speak in front of people. But the people that make it are the ones that feel that uncomfortableness, and they get used to it. They're like, okay, I'm not dying. I feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to die. So I can handle this. I can handle this. And then we do it. And then the more you do something, the more you get comfortable at it. So if you're not comfortable closing or adapting to people, do it more. And you're going to feel nervous. You're going to feel that crappy feeling in your stomach. But as you do it, all of a sudden that crappy feeling starts going away a little bit. And you start getting better at it. If you're nervous, posting ads. Start posting more ads on Craigslist. Getting more calls. Okay. Anyways, hope I'm not losing you guys. Did anybody find this valuable at all to help? Okay, now I'm going to pop quiz you guys and see what can we do to increase each one of these things. What can we do, guys, to increase our leads? Let me ask you that. More ads, more ads. Okay, so let me ask this. What do you guys have for ads right now? Everybody be real with me. What do you guys have for your Craigslist ads, and what do you have for your Facebook ads? Elaine says nothing. Garrett says a shit ton. See, now that's not specific. I can't answer a shit ton. A shit ton, I don't know. If you go to the bank and you say, I would like to withdraw a shit ton of money, they're gonna look at you a little funny. Okay, you've got to be specific, guys, in life. You can't be a wandering generality. You need to be a meaningful specific. That's what Zig Ziglar says. All right, so be specific. So now see, I'm seeing 12, 16, 20. Guys, 8 Craigslist ads, 10 Craigslist ads, 15 Craigslist ads is not going to make you money in this business. How many ads should we all have up? I see what you guys posted now. Someone says 0, 11, 1, 28. Guys, how many should we have up? Let me see what you guys said. 30, 50, 30, 30, 50, 50, 40, 50. So I asked you, why don't you have 40 or 50 ads up on Craigslist yet? What's stopping you? What's stopping you, guys? Data says me. Let's see. What kind of day? So I want like let's get a live example of someone who doesn't have a lot of Craigslist, and I want you to tell me what is stopping you from getting those ads up. And come on, and let's go over this because I got to figure out why are you not doing it. Like you paid $1,000 for this course. You know you should have those 40, 50 Craigslist ads up, but you still don't. So something is stopping you from doing it, and I want to know why. Bob says closing the deals I gave in the pipeline, overwhelming contacts. Okay, so guys, having too many calls is the worst excuse for not placing more ads. Worst. Absolutely, because when something's working, there's cash there, there's money there, so you got to just work on your closing, right? Just be a little uncomfortable and close more deals. Go buy those phones. Don't do less because when you have less opportunities, less deals, you make less money, hands down. So when you're getting a lot of calls, you should be posting more ads to get even more and adapt to that because you're going to grow quickly. That's how Aaron did 10,000 his first month, and then 20,000, and then 30,000 his third month with this course because he just went right with it. He didn't skip a beat. He didn't get nervous. He just went right with it. But some of you guys are nervous because your ads are getting flagged on Craigslist. Well, if your ads are getting flagged, show me your account right now, and I'll show you why they're getting flagged, and I'll show you how to post more. Who would like me to do that? Who doesn't have enough Craigslist ads because they think like their ads are going to get flagged. They don't want to get banned on Craigslist or something like that. What? Anybody? Steve says me. Anybody else? How many people here is just sheer out of laziness? Like you just don't do it. You don't think it works. I don't know, something. Carl says 90% of my ads got flagged. You're definitely doing something wrong if that many ads are getting flagged. Eric says not seeing results with Craigslist. Get flagged a ton. So in business, guys, the business comes in waves. Okay, so for example, this happens a lot, and I've been doing this for 5 years, so I've studied the trends. Sometimes we'll get every call that week from a Craigslist ad, and nobody calls from Facebook groups, and we get all those deals. Some weeks, people call all from the Facebook groups, but then Craigslist doesn't work. Here's the problem. What happens is people post 40, 50 Craigslist ads up, and they go, oh, Dave, I'm not getting ad for my Craigslist ads. And then they stop putting Craigslist ads up. And then next week is the week that all the people call from Craigslist, and they miss all those calls. So now you're still doing lousy because you're not consistent with it. It's like not working on the days that all the calls come in. I don't know if you guys saw that in the course where I talk about this, that in this business, there's usually only 2 or 3 days per week where you make your money. That's it. Some days are just like today at the store, we barely get shit. I mean, I probably made a lousy $300 profit today. Horrible. I mean, I usually make $500 to $1,000 a day, and we only made $300. Terrible. But yesterday, I probably made like $650 profit out of the store. Okay, so Tiffany says quitting soon. Don't want it. Well, exactly. Working at Tiffany. Okay. But if you're not consistent, and you get down on the slow times, and you don't keep up with what's keeping you busy, you're going to fail. Now, I see some people I see some of your faces watching this go, oh, Dave, that's not it, or you're not paying attention as much, or you don't think this is it. Guys, this is it. I've been doing this for 5 years. Some people, they want the answer to make money, and I give it to them, and they're like, nah, that's too easy. Too easy, Dave. I need a more complicated answer. It's not that complicated. It's very simple. But if you don't do it, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So make sure that you're being consistent. You have 40, 50 ads up all the time. Luke, how many do you have?
Like all together ads or like on every platform?
Craigslist ads, just Craigslist.
I'm kind of nuts with it, but I mean, I honestly usually have like 90 to 120 Craigslist ads, guys. So,
does that fluctuate every month, or are you pretty consistent with that?
I'm pretty consistent. I think consistency is, one of the most important things of this business.
Yep. Aaron, are you using Craigslist, or are you using just the apps?
I use Craigslist a little bit.
How many ads do you have on Craigslist?
98.
He knows it to the ad, 98 ads. There's a reason why these guys do 30, 40,000 a month. Okay. Now we're slacking a little bit. I only have about 60 or 70 ads up. Again, I don't do the work for my company. I have other people doing it. So I can only max out so much because I'm running 4 companies, but still we have 60, 70, we're at 20,000 for the month right now. Okay. Just do the things that successful people do and you guys will be successful. How many Facebook groups are you guys posting every day? Everybody type in what you're advertising in Facebook groups. Jose says 40 Facebook groups per day. You're going to get blocked really soon. Be careful with that. Don't post more than 10. If you post in more than 10 groups a day, you're begging to be blocked from Facebook. So be careful with that. Robert says 8. That's good. Logan says 12. Timothy says 1 ad in 10 groups. Good. 8, 5, 3, 5. Okay, good. A lot of you guys are keeping up with your Facebook game. Grant says got blocked. That's what happens, guys. So be careful with that. Did anybody watch the new videos that I just released for you? I created some brand new videos to show you guys how to do Facebook groups perfectly and Craigslist ads. I posted them in the group for you. So if you haven't seen those yet, they were very good. And I showed all my ads for Facebook and for Craigslist and how to do all this stuff. I even showed if your ads are getting flagged, what to do and how to handle that, how to create more accounts. I posted them in the group. Just type in it's going to be a new course called the Phone Flipping Mastery Course. Type in PHM in the Facebook group, and you'll see those. I'm going to delete them once I release the new course, but right now they're still there. So if you're watching the replay of this in the future, it may not be there. Okay. Now, you could also use apps. I'm not going to talk about apps right now because you can easily do 10,000 a month just using Facebook groups and Craigslist. I think a lot of people try to reinvent the wheel and do things their own way. Like, it's funny because there's a lot of people in the group, I'll see posts like, hey, Dave, I want to try yard signs. And then I say, well, what's your sales? 500 for the month. Like, why would you do the things that might increase your sales by like 0.5% instead of doing the things that will increase your sales 100% first? Doesn't make sense to me. So some people are worrying about the things that are going to increase their business by a tiny, tiny bit rather than like, it's like if the tires were flat on your car and the car was dirty, you washing your car first to try to make it drive before fixing the tire. It doesn't make sense to me, right? So don't be that person that tries to, do the random things like that. That's not the basics that I'm teaching you guys. Okay. So anyways, well, would you guys like to see some Craigslist ads at all? Would you like to see some Facebook posts? Is there anything I could do to make this a little easier? What would you guys like to see? You guys tell me, and I'll spend the next 20 minutes doing whatever you want me to show you. Craigslist samples. Okay. All right. So, how many of you guys, be honest with me, watched all the Craigslist videos in the course? I'm just curious. Okay, so a lot of people did, not me, some people. Okay, guys, because there's so many videos in the course that shows Craigslist ads that it's disgusting. So that's why I don't talk about them in the group chat that much. Like, I literally show probably 50, 60 different ads of my Craigslist ads in the course. So if not, I'm gonna do it right now, but you're probably gonna see the same stuff I'm gonna talk about in those videos anyways. All right. So I wanted to give you some more mindset stuff that's important that I can't just show you in the videos. So let's go to an account here. Here's a recent one. Okay. So here are some of our ads. Now, for those of you guys getting flagged, first of all, make sure this. Number one rule of Craigslist ads. What 3 sections should you guys post in for Craigslist so you don't get flagged? Type it in the chat right now. Wanted, financial, and local news. Good. Okay. Now, here's the thing, guys, too. Like some of you guys are saying you've got a lot of ads and maybe you're not getting calls. When was the last time you changed the ads? Because you have to rotate them. If you don't rotate the ads, nobody calls anymore. It becomes part of the Craigslist landscape, and they just think that it's always there. Just their eyes glaze over it. You have to change your ads up. They have to be changed every week. Every week, new ads. So you can't keep the same crappy ads that you had 2 months ago. It's not going to get you any calls. You've got to constantly change them. That's called ad rotation. Okay. Darius has been using Canva. Okay, good. So you want wanted, financial services, and local community news. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ads in this one. Now, this is all phones, though. So I'll just click on these so you can see a few different ones. You can experiment with different ads like this. Looking to buy iPhones, all carriers, new, used, damaged. Very simple. I don't know if you guys have seen this video where I show this stuff already, but it's right in there. Brian says, I got 2 phones this evening from an ad Amy posted today. Good job. We also have, for those that are struggling with the ads, we have an ad posting service. All of our clients right now are having good success with that, by the way. They're all making good money and getting a lot of calls. We run the ad service for you. So if anybody's like, Dave, I don't want to learn this, just do it for me. We do have that service. It's $125 a week. We'll post all your Craigslist ads for you and all your Facebook group posts, and you don't have to listen to any of this. All you have to do is close the deal. So if you're interested in that, just message me on the group or message me on Facebook, and we'll see if we can get you signed up. We have a little bit of a waiting list, but we're accepting 1 or 2 people this week for that. So if you would like it, let me know. Do you have a question about Craigslist ads? Because I'm not sure what to show you guys that you haven't seen here a million times. I don't want to say the same stuff over and over and bore people. So is there specific questions on Craigslist ads that you guys have?
Hey, Dave.
Yep, who said that?
This is Scott.
Oh, hey.
Hey, man. So just some clarification. So typically in your Craigslist accounts, for each account, you've got 3 to 4, maybe 5 ads per account, right?
Yep. So let's show you. Yeah. So like we have all these accounts right here. Here's another account. Yeah. And this is one of our best accounts. We're actually able to land 7 ads in this one, but that's because we have different items. We have digital cameras here. You can get away with more ads when you diversify, guys. It's very important. Xbox, PS4. Yep. Go ahead, Scott. What were you saying?
And so then in each account each week, you're completely renewing all of those, or I shouldn't say renewing, you're writing new ads and replacing those every week for every account, right?
Yes, most of them. We'll probably keep half of them, but renew, like refresh half of the ads. We'll recycle those every week.
Okay, and then when it comes to actually hitting the renew button, when that pops up, you're doing that daily for the ones that come up, or are you renewing every ad every day?
Probably every other day we'll do that.
Okay.
We used to do it every day, but then we started finding out that sometimes when you have a lot of ads up, it can cause them to get ghosted if you renew too fast. So now we're letting them go every other day and renewing them.
Okay, so you're essentially just waiting until that renew button shows. You're not circumventing that.
Usually. Now, if all you're doing is renewing ads, though, that's bad because they're getting stale. The ads, that's called a stale ad. So if, let's say, this ad stays up here for a month, its effectiveness is almost 0 after a month. Like an ad will have 100% effectiveness the first day that you post it. The next week, it's going to have 50% effectiveness. It's like a half-life. The third week, it'll maybe have 25% effectiveness if you're lucky. By the last month, I mean, it's just like basically It's like a tree falls in the woods and nobody hears it, doesn't make a sound. That's what your Craigslist ad is like after a month of posting. So for those that have a lot of ads up but you're not getting calls, ask yourself, how many of the ads do you have that have been there forever and you haven't changed them? They're useless. They're not doing any good.
Okay. And then could I ask a question on Facebook as well?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
So I just started posting ads there, and I'm not efficient on bumping them or whatever. So how do you do that every day? What's the fastest, most efficient process for getting those to do that? Because I don't think it's working for me when I'm
to do what?
To bump the ad up to the top of the page again, right?
Or in Facebook groups?
Yeah.
All you have to do is comment. So you can do bump, or you can do anything. Put a period on the comment. If you just comment on the post, it bumps it up to the top of the group.
So you place the same ad in 5 to 10 groups a day.
Yep.
And then do you bump it again the next day?
We don't bump it, but if you guys, I'll show you guys how to do that. If you want to get like aggressive with it, you can. Like let's say it's a slower day and you got a little more times on your hands. So then you could just go like this. Some groups will get mad at you for this though, but let's see if I could find a post that we did here. So here's one right here. Another thing to experiment with, guys, is doing text-only posts and picture posts. So people get really caught up with the pictures. The purpose of this isn't to look pretty, guys. It's to generate money. So sometimes an ugly ad works great too. Like I'll get a lot of responses on these ugly text ads like this with no picture. Look at that. Here's responses right here. So, and look at this. It's from December 19th. And this guy commented here, and then it got bumped up and more people started commenting. So, you know, like if you want to bump it, you can do a period right there, and that'll bump it to the top of the group so more people see it.
Okay, that's what I was doing. It didn't seem
I actually wrote this ad, I think, during a group chat. It's back in December.
So you have to go into each individual group's page individually. There isn't a way to do it in bulk?
Nope. You can't mass bump all your Facebook group posts. But you can post them. You can post mass amount of ads. Does anybody know how to do that?
Yeah, I saw they give you that option right at the bottom or whatever.
Yep. So if you go to your groups, for those that don't know how to do this, you can post 10. You can post in 10 groups all in one shot. If you go like this, let's just pick a. You go to sell something. Or discussion. Wait a minute.
No sell.
What is it? Okay, why is it not showing up?
It's because sell. It only looks with sell.
Yeah, but it's not showing up. Oh, maybe it's because I don't have all the stuff in there. I'm just putting random stuff just to get it to show up. There we go. No, it's still not showing up.
I don't know. That's never happened to me.
Weird. I don't know if we got restricted or something, but usually there's a little button here. It's a drop-down menu, and it will show all the groups that you can post in, and then you can post in all those groups and select them. I don't know why it's not showing up on mine right now. It usually does, so I don't know if that's a glitch or there's a problem.
Hey, Dave, I have a question when you're ready.
Yep.
Do you use your phone number?
Hold on 1 second. Let me just make sure Scott was all set. Scott, did that help you, that right there?
Yeah, that's cool. That was great, man. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Who said that? Who was
Does
just?
it stop, please?
Hey.
Hello. So for your Craigslist ads, do you put your phone number in there?
Yes. So see where it says show contact info? Craigslist will automatically do that.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because I'm wondering, if you do that for all your accounts, if one of the accounts, gets in trouble, will their system catch on to that phone number and all your accounts will be in trouble?
Been doing this for 5 years and never had a problem with that.
So one phone number for all the different accounts is fine. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't had any issues yet, and I've done this. I don't know. Let me see all postings. I'm gonna try something. Look at this. I've got Craigslist ads. This is when I was just doing it myself. Anybody want to see my old Craigslist ads when I started buy, sell, fix? I buy for resale. Now I got here's stuff from 2016, 2014. 2013. Here's stuff before I even started my stores, and I was just working out of my house. This is when Amy was running a maid service at the time. We had that 2012. This was my I buy for resale ads. Now you can also experiment like that. See how there's a lot of text? There's a lot of keywords in this. Now over 5 years, Craigslist got a little bit stronger on the keyword crackdown because look at how I stuffed this thing. So whenever somebody would type in one of these phones, they would find my ads. Okay. I was doing 40,000, 50,000 a month by myself, working from my mom's basement with these ads right here. They worked well. So if you ever want to try copying those, you can just copy. I'll leave it on the group chat up here for a second so those can watch the replay and check it out. Don't say bad ESN anymore, though. Don't do that. Craigslist banned that. So don't say that in your ads, or Craigslist won't approve it, or they'll flag it automatically. Let me find another old ad. Does anybody want to see these old ads at all, or no? I don't want to take up your valuable time. This is another one that I did. Again, this is like a long form type of ad stuff with keywords. So if I was to just write, like, let's say I take these keywords here and just put them in the ad randomly, Craigslist has a more likely chance of flagging that. But if you write it in paragraph form like this, that usually makes it look more legit to Craigslist, like you're doing a real posting. And sometimes your ads will stick better that way too, if you can write them in a paragraph form like that. So experiment with it. I wouldn't do all your ads like that. We do them a little differently now, but experiment. And we do have probably 10 or 15 ads like this still. Okay.
Hey, Dave, I have a question.
Sure.
For the CL accounts, are all the ads unique, or are they all unique throughout all the accounts, all the ads?
The Craigslist accounts, are they all unique? Yes.
Okay.
100%. They're all every one of these ads is completely different than the other one. You won't see any ads with the same title or body. We've changed them around for all.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
I mean, you got to put the effort in. That's why I think like a lot of people post the same ad all over, and then they're like, "Oh, Dave, I got 30 Craigslist ads." But they don't work. Well, you can't have 30 of the same ads. They have to be 30, 40, 50 different ads in order for it to work. That's why I recommend, if you want to take this work off your back, you can always hire us for our ad posting service, because we make sure we do all this stuff for you. In one phone almost pays it off, but you don't have to. Or if you want, you could give your little brother $20 a week or something if you live with them to help you with this, or a friend or someone like that if you want to write the ads and just show them how to do this. But this is the number one priority for you guys. This generates the leads. Okay, who had another question?
Hey Dave, it's me, Tim.
Hey.
This is about buying like cracked LCD iPhones. Do you pop on a test screen when you buy those?
We do, yes. So if you know iPhone repair, you can definitely make more money with that. So for you guys, another thing I was going to tell you is that during a slow period, highly recommend getting into iPhone repairs, because knowing iPhone repairs will make you 100% a better buyer. Because if you get one of those phones where like they give you the phone and you can't see the screen on it, a lot of you guys are really intimidated by that because you don't know how to repair a phone. But for a guy who knows how to repair phones, it's very easy. We just take a test screen, throw it on there. It literally takes 3 minutes, and we can actually remove the iCloud lock and everything. And then we can lowball the crap out of them on it because they don't have anywhere else to go. There's no competition. So let's say it's like an iPhone 7 with a cracked LCD. That phone is going to sell probably for like, I don't know, 150, 200 bucks. I'm not going to do the appraisal right now to save time. But I could get that phone for like $10. We just got one the other day, literally $10 for an iPhone 7 with a cracked LCD. And my employees put a new screen on just to test it, made sure it was no iCloud lock or anything, completely erased it. So restored it, then put the crappy screen back on, and we sold it for 150 bucks. We paid $10 for that. That's a nice big juicy profit right there. But you're missing out on it if you don't know how to do iPhone repair. And I think a lot of you guys have my iPhone repair course, but you're not taking any action on it. So not only can you make money just doing the repairs, but doing the buying, it helps you because you can do the things that other buyers can't, that don't know how to do repairs. And that could add $300 to $500 a week to your profit margins per week. That's a lot of money. $400 per week times 4 is $1,600 a month extra profit just from learning iPhone repairs. Okay, so all these little things, guys, it's not one technique. It's just doing all the right things, and that's what makes you a smart businessman. There's a reason why only 1% of the population makes $100,000 a year. A lot of people aren't willing to do what the other people are willing to do. Any other questions? That was a good question. I like that, Tim. Alex says, where's the best screens for the cheapest? Well, I sell screens myself, so I'm a little biased. If you go to buysellfixedparts.com, I'll put the link right here. You can get screens right from me.
Yes, I have a question.
Yep.
So sometimes people contact me with phones that are they're password locked, and they just say, oh, can you fix that? And I usually like say no, but would you recommend like having a laptop or something like that with iTunes to kind of work with those kind of items that need to be restored through iTunes?
Yes, I used to carry your laptop with me. What I recommend everybody doing, once you get used to it and you flip from phones, like you got to start doing this like a real business. So I would always have a Wi-Fi hotspot. I think is really smart to do. If you guys don't have that, it's like $20 a month, but it's going to make you money. It's not going to cost you money, right? So you have the Wi-Fi hotspot. That way you can activate phones that aren't activated on the carrier. You can connect them to your Wi-Fi hotspot to go through the activation process, make sure they're restored, make sure there's no iCloud lock. And you can also do things like if you have to hook up a laptop or whatever, you can do that. So I bring the laptop for the iTunes so you can restore it through iTunes. Definitely will help you. And then in a Wi-Fi hotspot, I think is a great idea as well. So it's a good question, Eric. And then when you pull up with that stuff and you have all that and you're all put together, like you'll start buying deals just because customers see like you're really prepared and this is a real business for you. So it's so much easier to negotiate when you have all that stuff and you're ready and you're confident. Yeah, you can use the McDonald's Wi-Fi or Starbucks, but what if there's not a McDonald's around and you want to meet someone really quick? You're gonna lose. Is it worth it for $20 to lose a deal? One deal a month that you lose $100 profit on, you've lost $80 now for the month because you didn't want to spend $20. You got to think about it that way. It's not costing you $20. You're losing $80 a month if you don't do it. So it says Yoda equals David. I don't know.
Dave.
Yep.
Quick question. It's John Luke.
Hey, John Luke.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. This might seem a little basic. I didn't have the best luck in the beginning with Craigslist, so I let that slack off. I just want to get the idea of the number that I'm going to have to post per day to get up around 90. And it sounds like if I've got 14 accounts and I do 2 accounts a day, 5 ads per account, that gets me 10 a day. All 7 days, that gets me about 70.
How many ads do you have right now?
Oh, Craigslist, none. I just let it go. I was just going off of Facebook.
So this is a common mistake, Jean-Luc. So here's what happens is someone is like, it's like when I get someone that talks to me, I teach a lot of business stuff, and I'll get a real broke entrepreneur and be like, Dave, how can I be a millionaire? And I say, well, how much money are you making right now? None, I don't have a job. I'm like, well, figure out how to make $500 a week, and then maybe we can work on maybe making $100,000 a year. And then when you get to $100,000 a year, I'll teach you how to be a millionaire. But like, you shouldn't be worried about being a millionaire right now. You should just worry about making some money at the moment, right? So, and that's a big mistake. Everybody tries to shoot further than where they go. So instead of you trying to shoot for 90 ads right now, Jean-Luc, you should worry about getting just 20 up and deal with that first. And then when you get the 20 up, then you can scale to 90, right? Okay. Like if I told you how to do it right now, it probably hurt you because it just confuse you more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of. I think I kind of, in the beginning, all I did was put them up and renew them, and they got stale. So I didn't have the idea of how often you're supposed to post the new one. So I'm just trying to wrap my mind around that.
Post 3 a day for right now. If you post 3 a day, in 14 days, you're going to have 45 Craigslist ads. And some will get flagged. You'll lose some will get stale. So that'll leave you up with about 30 to 35 left over, right? You'll have about 45, and then with all the junk that you weed out, you'll have about 30. But then that's 30 solid ads that you'll have that are bringing you calls in versus having nothing, right?
And just keep doing 3 every day, new accounts.
Well, once you get to that point, then you figure out how you can post 4 or 5 a day without getting flagged. You just optimize and you experiment, right?
Gotcha.
Like Luke posts. How many Craigslist ads do you post a day, Luke?
Usually about 30 new ones a day.
He's posting 30 a day, but I mean, he's got 120 on his account. So he kind of like he's worked his way up to that. So he's got a system down, and then you get comfortable. But you're not going to jump to 30 Craigslist ads a day from 0. You've got to work your way up. You want to get to 30, then to 50, then 75, then 100. But every month, set those goals to have more and more ads. Does that make sense? Don't like put up 15. This is what people typically do. They put 15 ads up. They don't get a ton of calls. Oh, that's it. This isn't working. This is crap. I'm going to stop. And then they quit. Instead of continuing to improve, and then figure out, well, maybe my Craigslist ads aren't good. Maybe there's a lot to it, right? You could post 20 bad Craigslist ads that get no calls. I've seen it happen. I've had guys that had 40 Craigslist ads, and then I look at their account and I'm like, oh my God, these are the worst ads I've ever seen in my life. And that's why you're not getting any calls. Does that make sense?
That does. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. No problem. Okay. Anybody else have another question? Carl says a few minutes ago, I thought you said you can get rid of iCloud lock. No, if you buy the phone and it has someone's Apple ID password on it, you cannot remove that. So, or not easy, let's say, or within a reasonable price range. So don't make sure you remove the iCloud lock before you buy it by erasing the phone. That's not really removing the iCloud lock. That's just preventing it. Gareth says, are we going to do any role playing tonight? We can if you want. I would rather actually close a live deal. I wanted to do that. Oh, Kevin, are you still on?
Yeah.
Oh, you're here. Okay. Whoa, third time's a charm. Kevin, the other day I was on the line with Kevin, and we were doing a coaching call. Kevin's a longtime friend of mine. I've known him for 12 years. He just signed up for the course last week. Can you tell him about the experience when I closed that guy there? Because we bought a phone. Tell him about it. I'll let you talk.
Oh, God, it was a Galaxy S7 Edge. The guy happened to respond to the ad while we were on our initial conference call. Threw him on speakerphone, and we wrapped it up in like less than 5 minutes.
And what can you just go through what happened there? Like, what did the guy say? What happened? Tell him what I did. You get really specific with it.
Yeah, the guy, I guess his rent was due, so he was a little bit desperate. So he was trying to sell some stuff, get some money. I think you opened, I think at like $100. He said he was hoping for like 150. I think he went to 110. And that's what he ended up biting at.
Yeah. So the guy. Kevin's like, oh, I got a deal here. Do you want to help me do a call? So we call up on the phone. The guy's like, hey, I got a Galaxy S7 Edge. Now they're selling for about $210 to $220 right now on eBay. So I offered him $100, and he said, oh, well, I don't know if I could do that. And I said, all right, how much you looking to get? And he said, I'm looking to get 150 because I need 150 to pay my rent. I really got to get that 150. And I said, oh, 150 is tough. And then I went to my typical spiel. I don't know if you guys want to hear me do it again because I do it every single group chat. But I was like, well, if I buy it at 150 as a reseller, I don't have enough room in order to make a profit. Now, you have to be on the call to hear it because it's the tone that makes the difference. You guys probably heard me say this speech 1,000 times how I close them, but it's how you say it that's very important. I said, if you'd like, I could do the $100 for you. And it's like, oh, well, I'm going to talk to my wife and see what she says. So I talked to him a little bit more. I explained, talked about eBay fees. I said, I tell you what, this is what I'll do for you. I really would like to help you out, and I want to earn your business as a customer. If I do 110, would you do that? And he said, okay, I'm going to call my wife, and I'll call you right back. Now, I like different strategies. Some people, like, for example, Aaron has a certain sales strategy. I have a different strategy. My strategy is I'm more into psychology. So I use things like the reciprocity bias. It's a part of the brain that means when you give something to someone, they feel the need to give back. And I also use reverse psychology a lot, which has closed me a lot of deals. So, for example, instead of saying, what do you have to think about? I personally found that line doesn't work for me. For me, I work better with reverse psychology. And I say, okay, yeah, sure. But I know, I can tell by the tone in the guy's voice that he's sold. And I can tell when he's not sold, because when he's not sold, I'll hear his voice quiver a little bit. I'll hear him be a little shaky, a little hesitant. And when I hear that, I'm not going to let him go because I know he's not really sold yet. But when I know he's like, okay, I'm going to call my wife right now, and as long as she said yes, I'm going to call you, I can tell by the confidence in his voice that the guy's sold. And if I push him and I say, well, wait a minute, before you talk to the wife, I'm going to now irritate that guy. And I don't want to irritate the guy out of a sale either. So I've learned to know when to push and when to back away. So I was saying, sure. And then, Kevin, what happened with that guy?
I ended up meeting him like probably half an hour after I got off our conference call.
Okay. And then what did I say to you once we hung up with that guy?
Oh, you said, oh, he's going to call back.
Yeah. And then I said, if he doesn't, what should you do?
Wait 30 minutes and then give him a call again.
Yeah. So in that situation, if I did feel like I've definitely got this deal, it's on the hook, and then I didn't hear back from him, I'm going to follow up with that guy and say, hey, how's it going? Whatever his name is. This is Dave. I was just wondering, I'll make up some kind of excuse. I won't say I was wondering if you thought about it because it's really cheesy. You don't want to say that. You want to give them some kind of a reason why you're calling back. So I would say like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm going to be heading out somewhere in about a half hour. So I wanted to make sure that I got you. So I give you your cash today before I head out. I would say something like that. So that way it makes sense. And then the guy would be like, oh, yeah. Actually, I just talked to my wife. We were just eating dinner. I forgot to call you. Oh, great. Okay. I can be there in about 10 minutes. Is that cool? Yeah, sure. Okay, boom. And then that's what Kevin did. We closed that deal. Any questions on that? Okay, we are running way past the time of the group chat, so I hope this was helpful for you guys. Something?
Dave, last question.
Yep.
sometimes when you're negotiating, sometimes people are going to be so firm on their price that no matter what you do, sometimes you just can't close them. Is that right?
I mean, I close 7 to 8 out of 10 deals that I typically take. So that means 2 people I haven't figured out how to close. I kind of like Captain Kirk's philosophy where there's no such thing as a no-win situation. I don't know if you've got any Star Trek fans in the house here, but James T. Kirk says there's no such thing as a no-win situation. I believe that if I could figure out some way, I could close 100% of people, but I've only figured out how to close 80% so far. So I don't believe that shit. I don't think so. And I think that's what makes me such a good closer, because I believe that every person I get on that phone with, I'm selling them. They don't have a shot. When they get on the phone with me, they are done. And I think that attitude really helps me a lot, because I think a lot of it really is mindset. Like Aaron probably closes as much deals as me, yet we do it completely separate. Like if you notice, if you listen to Aaron close a deal and you listen to me close a deal and we're live with customers, we sound completely different. But I think the fact that we both know that guy has no freaking shot in hell, I think that is something we both have in common, that guy's getting closed. Okay, does that make sense? So Timothy, I got to ask you, when you get on that deal, because I've heard some stuff and your mindset's been a little funny lately, are you feeling that way when someone calls you, or are you hoping that you close the deal? People who hope and wish never get what they want.
Like the thing is, for me, whenever I enter a call, I feel like I've already lost the deal, because like they usually give me the toughest objections, even though I try to smile and everything. And sometimes I kind of think, oh no, nobody can close 100%, and here and there, and yeah.
So here's the thing: you got to create your self-awareness, right? You see, unfortunately, you're looking at yourself in a lens that you've portrayed yourself for so long. That's been you. But the thing is, what you have to do is somehow look outside the lens. Take those glasses off and try to see yourself by somebody else's looking at you, and ask, is there anything about me that's causing me not to close the deals I want? Right? Because I'm gonna mess with you right now. Everybody type in the chat. Who, from hearing Timothy speak and me speak, who would you rather deal with in business? Timothy or me? And be honest. Be honest. I don't want you to just say me because I'm doing this. Everybody says Dave, Dave, you. Laugh out loud, you. Dave, Dave, Dave. Okay, now why? Why? Why would you rather deal with me?
Because you sound really happy, and then this. And when I say like, hey,
confidence, you are confident. Confidence is contagious, Timothy. But because I want to beat him up for a good deal. Oh, wait. Logan says positive vibes. Dave is confident about his shit. Okay.
No, I don't think you can close me, man. I don't think so. I don't think it's so hard here in Edmonton, man. It's so crazy.
So guys, the thing is, like you got to look at yourself now, Timothy, and go, could I be a little more like Dave? Is that possible? Because that's something that you've never asked yourself. You've always said, oh, Dave, I can't close, I can't close, I can't close. People always, your mindset is that it's hard. But what if you reframed it and you were like, well, wait a minute, let me just be a little more like Dave and I'll probably close more deals.
Or what if I try to pretend to be like I'm Aaron, right?
Well, okay, there you go. Maybe Aaron's better than me. I don't know. Be more like Aaron. There you go. Okay, whoever is closing the deals, be more like them.
Yeah, Aaron has great charisma. I swear to God.
There you go. So can you be more like that?
Yeah, sure, definitely. See how I switched up there? I cried because I'm hella sick.
Just keep working at it. So anyway, just look, Timothy, you're doing all right. Just keep watching the group chats and just try to think that maybe there's a lot more that you could be doing that you're not doing currently. So I mean, look, I learned it. Maybe I need to improve my sales skills because you just picked Aaron over me. So maybe I need to work on my charisma a little bit. I don't know. Maybe my game is not as good as I think it is. Right? And maybe not. And that's okay, because we all have certain strengths and stuff like that. I never claim to be absolutely perfect. So that's why I have Aaron come up here. We have different things. Maybe I can learn. We all learn from each other. But I'm not going to. It helps me, because if I do see that, he's not going to be better than me for long. Nobody's going to be better than me for long. That's my attitude. If I'm smart enough as a man to know that when I have been defeated, or if there is someone better, I'm going to work really fast to make sure that's not the case anymore. So you have to ask yourself, if you're not doing that, are you the same way?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? All right. Anyways, enough with the mindset stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And Aaron, hope Aaron didn't take any offense to that. I'm not trying to beat Aaron. I like him. He's a great guy. So this isn't a competition between me and Aaron by any means. So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the group chat. You guys have a great day. Thanks again. You've been awesome. Let's kick some butt. Get into these principles. Look, guys, a couple things. Quick review. One, make sure you're getting a lot of leads. Make sure your appraisals are good. You're learning, you're negotiating, and you watch the videos. Sometimes you got to watch these videos 2 or 3 times to get it down, guys. Okay? So it's sometimes one time just increases your awareness, and then you got to have that belief, like I just said to Timothy, that you're going to just do the right things. And then I want you to connect. The belief will come when you start connecting with people. Like, for example, I don't know if Timothy is hanging around people that are really good salespeople. I have a feeling that the people in your life aren't the best communicators. So maybe start hanging around with better communicators, and I think that will help you as well. It will force you out of your comfort zone. Let's make an effort to connect with each other in the group a little bit more. And thank you again, guys. You have a great day.
You too, Dave. Peace.